Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel, the Jamaican Boutique Girl, and I'm your Jamaican Boutique Girl, Tanya. And today we're pretty much discussing things to do before you leave your 9 to 5. A lot of us want to become entrepreneurs and business owners, but as it concerns leaving or severing ties with your 9 to 5, you don't know where to start. So these are some of the things I would have done if I were parting ways with my 9 to 5. All right, or I would have done if mine wasn't so abrupt. So let me give you a little story time on how I actually left my 9 to 5. It's just gonna give a little synopsis of what happened. So it was during the time when we were all working from home. A lot of people were now getting the opportunity to go back into office because what was happening? Yes, the numbers for COVID was going down, and the government had given the go ahead for persons to start going back or filtering back into office. For me, I was working from home, and my entire team that I was working with, that I'm assigned to, works from home. I report to someone in Canada, so I really didn't need to be on site, but I was helping out with another team, so they wanted me to come on site. Now, for me, that was an issue. Here are a few reasons, and I don't want people to think that, oh, I feel entitled, because really I wasn't entitled at all. I probably might give you guys a rundown of how my life at my previous job was. I had a toddler, a 2-year-old toddler. I have a toddler. He was 2-year-old at the time. I had my daughter, and I had like 3 other persons staying where I lived because I had the space and I had the internet access that they needed. So an adult would have to be home with them. So I was said adult. No, what happened was my manager, or the manager that I reported to here, for the other persons who weren't a part of my real team that I am assigned to, she wanted me to come back into office and manage 8 other persons. No, as it concerns that was an issue, because then I would be managing a team off-site and a team on-site. In addition to that, no one spoke to my manager, got the go ahead and clear for this, so didn't make sense to me. In addition to that, it was so abrupt, so I was informed this Monday, and then I'd have to change my entire life and be at office the following Monday. That was a pretty harsh timeline, and I wasn't sure I'd be able to make it for that timeline, so I didn't particularly like that. For me, I asked her, I said, I'll take the 8 additional persons along with the 5 or 6 that I already have. I'll take them. I'll take any amount of persons you want me to work, but I'm unable at this moment to come back in office. Is there anything that you can do? No, this is a shocker. That said manager knew my grandmother was ill. She was pretty much terminally ill, and I was the one taking care of her. And because I was taking care of her, I would have to prep her meals, give her meals, get her medication, do all of that. And in order for me to pretty much go back to work, I'd have to get someone to come in and do that. I'd have to get someone to stay with my kids and my son. No, in all truth and honesty, all the money then that I'd have been working and saving from home, I'd be spending all of that. Yes, my spouse is here and he would have been able to help me, but it would have been the same thing wherever we take it. I'd have to be spending a lot of money. I'd have to be driving to work. I couldn't get to spend as much time with my kids. I wouldn't even have gotten a very good day off. I'd have Like all of what I would have had saved up, all of what I would be working would be depleted, all while I'm still doing my business, Curvy Definition Plus, full-time, just the same. So I made the conscious decision, because her statement was, it's either you're gonna do it or it's going to happen, but either way you take it. September, whatever. I'm like, that doesn't make no sense, because you know my grandmother is deathly ill. What are you talking about? You know? So it's not like I have this big opportunity to just come back. And yes, a lot of people might say, oh, what if we were all working in office, or we had to come back into office? I guess it would have boiled down to the same thing. And I'm happy that I could have made the calculated decision to just part ways with the company. I'm happy I was able to afford to do that, because had I not been, then I would have been in the exact same situation, working both businesses and working in office, right? So I'm happy I was able to do that, but it made me make that decision earlier than I had wanted to, or sooner than I had wanted to. So I didn't get to pretty much plan as much as I wanted to plan to leave. I wanted to leave this year, August 13, 2022, because that would have been my 10th year anniversary. But anyway, now let's get into, if I were to really plan an exit strategy, this is how I would have done it. Now, the first thing, I'm going to be looking down at my list. The first thing I would have done was to start saving. And I'd start saving from about 6 or 12 months out. Granted, I was happy I was working from home, because I was saving all of my pay. Because with my business, Curvy Definition Plus, and my job at the time, I didn't have a lot of expenses, so I was able to save most of my pay. So I would have been saving, but I didn't get to save for as long as I had wanted to, pretty much. But the first thing I would have done is started saving. And I say 6 to 12 months, because in any case, you'd want to make sure that you have enough money saved up to pay all your bills and all of that, just because your business will take a lot out of you, and you want to make sure that you have your thing covered. You know, you don't have anything lagging, and you can pay for things without feeling overwhelmed. All right. Ensure your business is something you want to do before leaving. A lot of us get passionate for a minute about something, like, oh, I love this, I want to do this, this is awesome, this is amazing. You get exciting, because everything new is pretty much exciting. But you have to think of it from a long-term perspective. Would this be something I'd want to do for the rest of my life, or for at least 5 to 6 years to sustain myself? Will I be interested long enough to want to do this business? So you have to think about it from that perspective. Is it something you really want to do, or is it something that is brand new and exciting, and it's giving you some amount of money? As well as, does this business have room to grow? You know, is it a business that will stand the test of time? So you want to make sure you do the SWOT analysis to make sure it makes sense, right? So yeah, ensure your business is one that you want to be doing before leaving. Make sure it's sustainable. Make sure that it's one that will stand the test of time and can grow. Health plan. While Jamaica is not bad as it concerns healthcare, you still want to make sure that you have a health plan, a health card for yourself, or for your children, or for your spouse and yourself. Make sure you have a health plan, just so that you can, again, if something should happen and you don't readily have the funds, your health card can back you up. Because now you're putting in all your contingencies, because no one going to anything with a bloated head that nothing will go wrong. But just in case something goes wrong, you have something to fall back on, which is your health card if you get sick, right? Create an emergency fund, and that ties back into health and whatever, but create an emergency fund. If something should happen to your home, if something should happen to your car, if something should happen to your kids, if something should happen unexpectedly that you did not plan for, you have that money to run to. I cannot tell you how much your emergency fund should be, but you should have one, because trouble not set up like rainfall, and when trouble come, picnic shot will fit you. So make sure, say, when you put on a picnic shot, you can't need stretch go down on your belly button. You understand me? So create an emergency fund. It's important to have one, just in case anything should happen. All right. Understand time and money. When I say understand time and money, I want you to understand that your time will be equivalent to money, so you need to manage it properly. You need to understand that just the way you treat your 9 to 5, you're gonna also have to treat your business similarly. So understand that time equates to money, so be sure that you understand that before stepping outside of your business. Understand that you won't have anyone to supervise you. You have to supervise yourself, and because of that, you want to make sure that you're managing your time wisely. All right. You also have to understand money from the perspective that if anything should go wrong as it concerns you not managing your time efficiently, your money will also deplete. So be careful as it concerns time and money, as one travels with the other. Cut down on all unnecessary spending. So if you're a person who typically would spend on a lot of fast food, if you're a person who would spend on going to the movies, partying, whatever you would deem unnecessary, start to cut down or cut back on that. Ensure that start telling yourself that you can now do without these things, because if you do not do that, then what will happen is you'll crave for these things and you go eat out a little bit of money where you did that save up to make sure you can pay your bills them on time. So cut down on unnecessary spending. Start making sure that self understands that self. You can't eat burger every 3 days. You can go to KFC every Friday afternoon. You can go to every party where happen, every jump and we knock. You have to dead there. You have to know that even if you're going to one party, you buy a liquor before you go there. That sort of thing. So ensure that you cut down on all unnecessary spending before you pretty much launch yourself into full-blown business owner entrepreneurship kind of lifestyle, because you will eat through or burn through your funds easily. Check all your auto pay and remove anything that doesn't immediately serve you. For me, a lot of things were on auto pay because it just made sense. I want to make sure it's being paid for without me having to trigger anything or having to approve anything. So I had apps. I had Disney Plus. I had Netflix, Amazon Prime. What else did I have? I think the only thing that I have from that I'd want to say is Netflix. For Amazon Prime, I don't have it for the full year anymore, or if I need it for like a month time. I'm so happy that they offer monthly Amazon Prime payments, so I have that. All the apps that I'm using now are for business, and I ensure that they're tied to my business credit card, so it doesn't come out of my funds. But I don't know, maybe for you have other things on auto pay. Maybe you have a I had a subscription for Adore Me for panties. I had to cut that out as well. Some people might have subscription to Just Fab or Shoe Dazzle, something like that. So you want to ensure that you cut. Ooh, beautiful, that lighting. Right, let me see if I can use it up before I go away. Right, so You want to cut all unnecessary spending or all things that are on autopay that are unnecessary. Ensure that if it's on autopay, it is something that you cannot do without. Netflix, it's $7 and I feel like, okay, fine, I must be able to splurge on one thing, so I have Netflix. Separate your business finance from your personal finances, so make them separate. The reason for this is so you don't want to be spending your personal money for your business, and likewise you don't want to be spending your business for your personal, because what will happen is that let's say you go to the supermarket. I'm trying to do this in an example format. Let's say you go to a supermarket and you're spending some amount of money, and you spend that money, but albeit there's something that you needed to pay for your business, so you might have spent that money inadvertently. In addition to that, when it comes on to taxes and when it comes on to what you spend on, you want to make sure that the business finance is a business finance. All things that have been deducted from that account were business related. You're gonna have to give an explanation for it. So it's important to separate the two, so that you don't use one money for the other, or you don't have things coming from your personal account that should be coming from your business account. So keep both of them separate. That way the business manages the business and the personal manages the personal. If you are in a position that you're able to pay yourself, then go ahead and pay yourself a monthly salary. It is important too that you do that. Whatever format that paying yourself takes, make sure you do it. Clear as much debt as you can before you move into full-time entrepreneurship. Again, for the same reason, your business might not be turning over enough for you to pretty much manage all the debt that you have. So again, I still give that 6 to 12 months timeline. So within that time frame, you at least can minimize the amount of debt you have. So even if you didn't save up all you need to save up, at least you don't have a lot of overheads when you go into full-blown entrepreneurship. So if it's a car loan, try to pay down as much of the principal as you can. If it's a unsecured loan that you took out for some reason or another, try to pay down as much of it as you can, or clear it off as much as you can. See if you are able to create what I call it, where you liquidate all your loans and make one big loan and you just pay that only, because sometimes it can be a bit much if you have several different loans paying from several different places. So if you can combine all of them and pay one big money, that's also good. But try to cut down the amount of loan repayments you will have when you go off on your own, because again, entrepreneurship is really bliss, but it doesn't make it very blissful when you have a lot of overhead and you don't see where the money is coming from, and then you'll get discouraged and you don't want to do it anymore, and you want to go find a 9-to-5 to supplement, because you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that my business is not doing this and it's not doing that. Sometimes it's really that you're expecting too much from the business too soon, and you don't remember that the business has to go through a nesting and a growth phase before you even start to see a profit. Sometimes all you're going to be doing is breaking even, or just being able to pay your bills, right? So try to clear as much of the small loans or little debts that you have before launching full-blown entrepreneurship. Plan everything. Plan when you're going to leave and work backwards. What am I going to do at this stage? Oh, I'm going to pay off this loan right here within a 3-month period. Oh, I'm going to save 500,000 over here within a 8 months period. Oh, I am going to do this in my business to make sure that when I launch off by myself, then I can do it. So plan everything. Don't just jump into it. Make sure that you plan it properly, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You understand? So make sure you plan every move before you do it, so that you don't end up falling on your face. All right. I have, I think, about 2 more left. Oh, it's not 2 more, but it's not a lot. Stick it out for as long as you can. So even though I tell you 6 to 12 months, stick it out for as long as you can, especially if your business is not overbearing. Because for me, I got an ultimatum. It's gonna happen now, or it's gonna happen in September. And at the time, again, grandma was almost dying. Thankfully, I could probably gonna ask, she didn't die. She was being given an I don't want to go into all of that detail. Just know she didn't die. She made a full recovery about December there. About December, she was back to feeling like herself. But it took a lot of nursing and some, right? So stick it out as long as you can. If you don't have a big issue with the job, or it's too strenuous, or you're fighting for time. I was also fighting for time because I was a full-time mom, a full-time employee. I'd want to say I was a full-time business owner as well, because I was doing everything simultaneously. So I was going to my bed at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. And believe you me, sometimes we ask for guidance and we don't understand that we're getting the guidance we need. So every day, religiously, without a lie, without anything, my electricity would either go away or my internet would go away. No jokes. So because of that, I used to be up really late, because it would come back like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, and I'd just use that time to complete whatever reports I didn't get to do, or whatever meeting notes I didn't get to document, or whatever reports I didn't pull. I'd use that time to do it. So by the time I'd get done, it would be 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had a full-on nervous breakdown. I was tilting like this, back and forth. I couldn't stand properly. My stomach consistently felt like flutters and stuff. So when I went to the doctor, it was like, you need to take some time off to like just rest, because that's what you're lacking, rest. So yeah, that wasn't good for me, and I really, like, you know, it was just a compilation of things, and I just made the unanimous decision to just leave. But as long as you can stick it out, stick it out. And funny story, now that I have left, I can count on my fingers, this hand, how many times the power will go away, and the internet doesn't go away any at all. So again, sometimes God is guiding and you're not seeing the guidance. So sometimes I have to send something really big for you make a change, or you make a roundabout. Within that time frame that you're planning your exit strategy, get some adulting done. Do some adult things. If you didn't get those adult things out of the way before, get some adult things done. Like, if you need a car to transport you for your business, get a car. You can use that 9 to 5 to help you to get the car. If you don't have a house, try to look for a house within that time frame. See what you might need to get the house. If you are able to afford to get the house before you leave the 9 to 5, then try to do that. But get some adulting out of the way. If you don't have furniture for your home, try to buy some furniture. Try to get something solid for yourself before going off. Get some things accomplished as an adult would need to before you leave your 9 to 5. Things that you know that the 9 to 5 will help you to qualify for, then use the 9 to 5 to do that, because outside of that, you're gonna have to have the business for a little while before you get to do that adulting aspect of things. All right, so try to do some adulting before you step outside of the 9 to 5 zone. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. So get your mind right, get your mindset right. Start to tell yourself that you can do it. Start to believe in yourself more often. it is going to be important, because if you're not strong, it's something that will break you. And it's not just the money aspect of things. Sometimes you're sitting there and you can't figure something out. Sometimes a customer will get under your skin. Sometimes a vendor will get under your skin. Sometimes life just life. You understand? So you have to get your mind right. It's not for the faint of heart. It will twist you and turn you and fling you up and down and do all sort of things to you, and you're like, the F is going on here. So you have to get your mind right. Make sure that you understand that this might come with some ups and downs, but it's not for you to give up. It's just for you to regroup and come back. Check your friendship circle. Check your friendship circle to make sure that this is a group that is able to support you during this time. And I'm not talking about financial support, I mean mental support. A group that believes in you and believes in your potential. Not a group that will say, you sure say you want to do that? You sure say you want to go off by your own? You sure say you can do that? You sure say that the business they're gonna last? Boy, that sound like foolishness. You sure say you want to do that? Girl, you better you stay in your 9 to 5. Girl, you better you do... No, get your circle right. Make sure that the people that you have around you pretty much encourages you to do better, encourages you to go after what you want, encourages you to be better. Because if you have a group of people around you that tell you say you can't do it, and you go automatically feel say you can't do it and nobody do it, you know, that everybody has say it can't work, it can't happen. And maybe it's not your circle of friends, maybe it might also be your family members, and you probably want to just stay away from them or keep your business to yourself in that sense. And you might need to seek out new friends. You might want to network a little bit, especially for the field that you will be in. All right, and it will definitely help you to kind of feel more encouraged and more motivated to do this thing that you want to do. All right, yeah, I think that's it. Entrepreneurship can be a bliss. Entrepreneurship can be amazing. It can take you places. It can make you travel the world. It can make you meet people that you never knew you would meet. It can give you things that you never thought you'd have, but it takes a giant leap. It takes a leap of you believing yourself, and that is called faith, right? But just before you do, make sure that you set all your plans in motion so that you will be able to make it through without feeling any form of me need to run back to my 9 to 5. My thought was, if I have to go back to my 9 to 5, I'd rather create another business. I'll create several businesses before I go back to working a 9 to 5. And that's the kind of mindset you want to have, not a mindset that every time something fails you start looking for a job listing. You understand me? So give yourself time, give yourself grace, give yourself an opportunity to explore what this means to be an entrepreneur. Give yourself, like, if you get vacation from work, like a 2 weeks, give yourself a full 2 weeks of being an entrepreneur and see how best you like it. See if you are disciplined enough to make it work, and then you set your plan in motion. This was my little tidbit. I hope you learned something. I hope you had your pens out and you wrote down some stuff. If not, rewind the video and go to that. While you're doing that too, make sure to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to share this information with a friend or a family member that wants to become an entrepreneur. Until my next video, bye.